There. So, yeah, welcome again. We had a little bit of a sidetrack with Facebook changing plans for me, but Jody's being flexible for me, and we moved to Zoom. So I was just starting to explain what EFT tapping is, and I won't go through all the details, but it is basically a combination of Western like talk therapy and Eastern medicine. So tapping on the energy meridians of your upper body and while voicing feelings out loud. And for a lot of us, that is a new sensation to actually say what you're feeling instead of kind of coasting along and saying, I'm fine, everything's good, but actually saying like, this is what I'm feeling. And also making a note of where you feel it, because we do carry our emotions in our bodies. And as you start to voice these emotions and your brain hears you, your subconscious begins to kind of connect and realize that it doesn't have to hold those feelings anymore. You're allowing them to process through your body. So while we're tapping, you may feel physical sensations, like I sometimes get like tingling down my spine. Yawning happens a lot because that like release, it's a physical release, or sometimes burping. And tears will happen sometimes. So it is your body's way of saying like, okay, yeah, you hit the nail on the head when you have these sensations. Or there may be no physical sensations as well. There's no wrong, like if you don't feel all these things happening, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just, it may just process a little bit differently for you. And I even find sometimes after tapping like 12 hours, 24 hours later, something else will come up like, oh, that's what my brain was trying to tell me, or that's what that was connected to. So it is just a real connection to your subconscious. And as I was saying before, that it will have physical effects as well by slowing the release of cortisol in your body so that you are able to come out of that like fight or flight sensation that we are often in and don't need to be. Like we're not in physical danger, but our brains like to kind of stay busy. So yeah, it's also a way to start noticing what thoughts have been running through your mind on automatic, because very often we have like majority of our thoughts that run through without noticing are negative thoughts, and we just it just keeps going like, oh, that was so dumb, oh, I shouldn't have said that, oh, I forgot that, and like just all these little reminders of ways that we judge ourselves, and the positive things through the day kind of get missed. So tapping helps to bring you back to that. So before we do our first round, and there is generally 3 rounds with tapping, you can either comment verbally or pop it in the chat, but let me know what feelings come up for you when you look, like when you start looking at the calendar for December. What kind of sensations come up for you or emotions? And I know for myself, it right away, just that flipping of the calendar is like having to take a bit of a deep breath to acknowledge what's coming up. Confusion. Yeah, because there's so many new things coming up. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I had a sudden panic today because one child has a choir thing, and I suddenly thought my mom had scheduled a family dinner on the same night. And there feels like there's so much intricacy with all the magic that has to happen in this month. Um, I mean, for myself, it's sometimes a real balancing act because we have so many different families that we have to coordinate because I have a blended family. So my first child's father, when are we coordinating time with him? When are we coordinating time with my stepson? How are we going to put everybody together in the same place for a dinner? So, yeah, there's all these little things. So, before we start tapping, it's good to just get yourself comfortable in your chair. And I will just be talking you through it. You don't have to have the points memorized. I will just keep guiding you along and saying where I'm tapping. And everything that I say, you will be saying back. Basically, it is like Simon Says or watch and copy, like a kid's game. So just taking a few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And this helps to signal to your body that it's time to just connect and get a little grounded. I like to imagine that I'm in this little bubble, and outside of the bubble is what happened before now and what's coming after now. So, right here in the bubble is this present moment. And it's like a gift to yourself to just really become present in your space. And to start setting the intention for releasing some of the pressure that you've been putting on yourself. So we start with tapping on the side of the hand. We call this the karate chop point. And it is just a gentle tapping. And we're going to say 3 phrases here with the setup point, always starting with even though. And I love those 2 words of even though because it is right away starting in with forgiveness. So even though I have mixed feelings about the upcoming season, because there are so many responsibilities that land on me, I still love and accept myself anyways. Even though I feel pressured to make the holiday season perfect, and that makes me feel stressed. That's okay. I still love and accept myself. Even though holidays end up feeling more like work than celebration, and I often feel ripped off and also guilty for resenting others, I still love and accept all parts of me. Okay, great job. So now we're going to move to the top of the head. Oh, there's a plant. I want to look forward to this season with my family. Eyebrow point, so just above your eyebrows here. There's so many responsibilities that come in December. Side of the eye. All the extra things on my schedule. Under the eyes. All the things I have to remember. Under the nose. It all feels really important. Under the mouth. I don't want to disappoint my kids. Collarbone point. I want the holidays to be good memories for my family. Under the arm, so basically where your bra strap would be. I see the posts that my friends make about their activities. Under the chest, so like the bottom of your rib cage. And I feel pressured to overschedule myself. Wrist point, so just tapping your wrists together. I see all the beautiful family photos. Top of the head again. And I feel bad for not getting organized in time. Eyebrow point. I should have started planning months ago. Side of the eye. Why can't I get my act together? Under the eyes. I want the holidays to feel easier. Under the nose, without being a complete Grinch. Under the mouth. I wonder if there's a way to let go of some of this pressure. Okay, we'll stop there and just take a notice for a moment and see if any other thoughts come up or if any of those phrases really kind of hit home for you. And you can let me know. I'll just have a sip of water. And then a question I wanted you to think about, unless you had something to say, is just getting curious about where these rules and expectations come from. You know, these thinkings like we have to have all these certain meals in this month, or if we don't do this, this, and this, then the holiday is a failure or I'm a failure. Like what kind of stories did you learn about the holidays as a child and even as an adult? And I mean, you don't have to throw all your answers out now, but just something to be thinking about, because some of these stories are stories that they've even seen in the movies, or I mean, now as adults, we are watching false advertising all day long on social media because people are putting their best scenario up and pretending like it's real. So it can feel like a lot of expectations. See. Oh yeah. Yeah. My grandmother always had the whole family, my mom, her brother, all their children, grandchildren at one table, and it's impossible. It is, yeah, even without COVID, because you're probably much more spread out now. Yeah, different places now. Yeah, we we used to go from like my uncle's house to my house to like we would kind of go here, there, and everywhere, but it was doable. The driving distance was doable. Um, these expectations of like, well, if I can't do that, therefore my kids don't get this beautiful memory that I have, when it's totally possible to create your own scenario that oh, I keep clicking on the wrong thing here. There. So what we're going to do now with this second round of tapping is, as you vented, and that's something I often forget to do, is to check the intensity of the feeling. So when we did the first round, I get too kind of wound up with things, but on a scale of 1 to 10 at the beginning, just noticing how intense those feelings of like the confusion and the pressure was feeling. Hopefully by now, with the first round, that will have lessened a bit. And your brain will not be ready to just choose a new feeling quite yet, but it's starting to get curious about maybe those feelings aren't true, right? Like maybe it's not true that I have to have all of these things done in December in order to be a good mom. So we're going to keep tapping into that possibility of shifting the belief. So again, starting on the side of the hand, we'll do another round. So even though I have been carrying high expectations about the holiday season, because of what I learned and watched, I'm getting ready to release them today. Even though I've been taught to place other people's enjoyment higher than my own, especially around the holidays. And it's made me feel resentful and stressed. I forgive those beliefs. And I love and accept myself completely. Even though I have felt overwhelmed about the month of December and all the extra responsibilities that come along, I'm getting curious about that today. Okay, top of the head again. How much of what I believe about the holidays is actually true? Eyebrow point. Is it really the most important thing to have all the perfect moments? Side of the eye. What do I remember most about my childhood holidays? Under the eyes. Maybe I don't have to do everything the way it was done in the past. Under the nose. Maybe it's okay not to do everything like my friends and family. Under the mouth. How would it feel to say no to some of the demands? collarbone point. I'm getting ready to release some of these expectations. Under the arms, I'm starting to realize that perfect doesn't exist. Under the chest, what I am seeking is peaceful and loving. Wrist point. How would my body feel if I gave myself some space? Top of the head. What would it look like to move away from perfect? Eyebrow point. And focus on peaceful instead. Okay, and we'll pause there again. So I know myself, I had a few kind of, oh, that was a spot for me. So yeah, letting go of the way things were done in the past and childhood memories, and realizing those aren't even the things that I remember the most lovingly. It's just the family time and the kind of the downtime, really. I see Jody typing, so I'll just hang on. Oh, yeah. You're right, Jody. I remember feeling pretty awkward and shy at those big family events and not very connective. Yeah, that's a great point. That actually it's not that much fun for the kids at those things. Yeah, I'm the youngest of all my cousins on my dad's side, so I would always be like the oddball while the big cousins were doing their thing. Yeah, it's true. We have these ideas like, well, this is how it should be, and this will create the beautiful scene. And really, the kids don't need all that stuff, especially after this, like these last few years. They're out of practice. If we suddenly shoved them into a massive scenario, yeah. I will admit, I was supposed to go to a big family thing for my dad's birthday, and because of the weather, I said we couldn't go because the highway was too scary to drive on. And all three of us, me and my two kids, were like, yeah, we're not actually sad. Don't tell my dad. But yeah, it's these things that we make ourselves do. It's so true. So we're going to do one more round of tapping. And this is when, now that you've started to allow yourself, like, maybe I don't always have to feel stressed about the holidays. What do I want to choose instead? And we're choosing to feel peaceful. So whatever you're choosing to do, having that intention behind it. And this is what tapping can really do, is even, it's not taking the trigger away. Like, we're not saying, oh, just skip December. It's still going to be there. And you will still have different obligations, and not even obligations, but activities. But now having that action of like, I am choosing not to go in this with an anxious state of mind. I'm choosing to go in with the plan to be peaceful as I do it. And it is really a retraining of your brain, because tapping helps to really build new neural pathways in your brain. So instead of it being like, oh, here's December, time to be stressed, it's like, oh, here's December, let's go this way. Let's choose, choosing to do less, choosing to feel the way that you want to feel. So it's a powerful tool that way to start building new messages in your brain. So we'll do one more round. Thank you so much for joining, Jody. I always get cold fingers when I'm tapping, so something about the energy, I guess. So we'll finish one more here. And yeah, just having that awareness of how do you want your home to feel both during and after the holiday season, and setting intentions that way. So even though I held these beliefs that the holidays had to be busy and stressful, I have let those feelings go. And I love myself completely. Even though part of me still wants to make a list and overdo things, the bigger part of me wants my home and family to feel peaceful. Starting with me. Even though I have held these expectations for so long, because of what I was taught, I am ready to lead the way with new traditions now. Okay, top of the head. I am creating change for my family and myself. Eyebrow point. I deserve to enjoy the holiday. Side of the eye. I am making memories that include my own peace of mind. Under the eyes. It's okay to say no. Under the nose. I can also say yes from a place of gratitude. Under the mouth. I choose the activities that light me up. Collarbone point. I set aside the ones that stress me out. Under the arms. I am an amazing mom. Under the chest. I am setting boundaries and leading by example. Wrist point. This year will be full of memories that include me. Top of the head. I am releasing the pressure to allow peace. Eyebrow point. I allow peace to rule my holiday season. Okay. And that is complete. So hopefully by now, if you were starting with, a number that was higher in intensity levels, by the end of 3 rounds, you should be feeling lower down. There are sometimes when we start venting emotions that it increases in intensity, but the tapping will, if you keep reminding yourself, like, yes, I feel this way. We're not ignoring the feeling, we are acknowledging it, and then we're choosing again. So yeah, that is the basics of how tapping can help to release anxiety for you. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll post it here and I can post it in the comments later too. I have a free tapping video that you can practice on your own. There. So yeah, it's a way to practice on your own. And that one was set up just specifically with releasing overwhelm to feel empowered and to choose again for your own emotions. So, and if you're curious to try other tapping with me, I do have a membership that I send out a weekly tapping video along with journal prompts and various strategies and tips, and it's a growing video library as well. So I can send you some details about that. So thank you so much, Jody. And maybe I'll stop the recording.